Oh,
no way. We live, Alex?
Alex,
You got
I
us
think-
live already? Wow.
He's like,
Are we live or are we recording this?
That's the question every time.
All right.
Yeah, man. This is great to have you, Mr. Rob Lacy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being here, man.
Honored
Appreciate
to be
it.
here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, we were just mentioning to JB that it's been less than a year since we've known each other, but I think our intentions and our paths were meant to cross. So it's very cool to have you here on the podcast with us. Thank you.
I'm honored, man. This place is immaculate too.
Oh, thanks,
Congratulations on your establishment.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that very much, man.
Yeah, we are here based out of Structure Exhibits. The AintDoneYet podcast sponsored by Structure, essentially.
Well, I think we're going to be doing a little bit of behind the scenes footage here soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can kind of walk around. People can see what this studio looks like inside here and
Great idea.
where Alex's production office and
Great idea.
what that looks like and the green room and all that stuff. So
It's been fun though, man. It's been a lot of fun. We've been talking for many years. John worked with us behind the scenes as management. Really, he was the secret member of Otherwise for many years.
Okay.
And as we were mentioning when it just started, we met at a concert and many years ago, and then we just really connected. So John has been monumental in Otherwise, my brother and I's lives, and in the process, we become very good friends, family friends, best friends. So it's a very
Thank
cool
you.
thing. We've sat. We've sat for many years and just sat in the office or wherever we were, just dropping knowledge bombs, and we're like, man, we should be doing a podcast. We should be recording this.
Absolutely, building, man. That's where the meeting of the minds come together. That's where we can paint visions and and not feel any kind of scrutiny as like, man, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But that's where you just hash it all out. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
think
mean,
that-
three minds
yeah.
is always going to be better than one mind, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like everybody that works here too. It's like you guys tell me. I'm not.
You're not know-it-all.
I'm
It's
not
just-
know-it-all, and nor do I have the best ideas. The best ideas come from groups of people
Yeah.
sitting down, collaborating, figuring things out, trying things out,
Yep.
working things out.
Yep.
Right?
Failing, figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I learn more failing than I do at anything else. You
Mm.
know?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a clip right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well-
tell us, Rob.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit background on you and how you've ended up here in the Las Vegas Valley.
I'm from Southern California. I moved out here because it's just really hard to live in Cali, bro. Like the cost of living is crazy.
Yeah.
So I was trying to escape. I made the great escape, I call it.
How long ago was that?
7 years ago now.
Okay.
And so basically just really excited to come to Vegas. I had always come to Vegas as a kid. My aunt lived out here for like 30 years now. So I would visit my favorite cousin, Jeff Lacy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I would spend my summers out here and just we'd go to the strip. This was the time. I can't even fathom this right now. First of all, my mom, I don't know how she tolerated this, but she'd be like, we're going to the strip and we're going to have fun. We're going to drop you off with your uncle and you guys just walk around. I'm like, what? I would never let my kids just walk around the strip right now at
Right.
15, bro, at night.
Yeah.
Like we were all just having fun. You'd see the pirates on the ship and watch the fountains and like all that stuff. And back
It's
then,
crazy how the news has changed the way our perspective is about things right now, because I don't think that crime has necessarily gotten any worse overall in the last 20 years, but we've definitely realized how much there is.
yeah,
Right?
we can
Yeah.
see it now.
Right.
People's
we can
always
see it and we're like,
filming
oh,
it.
yeah. And it's like, man, I don't want my kids to do that. We kept our kids on lockdown too all the time, just because we saw what was going on, what's actually going on in our world,
Yeah.
We all have more knowledge because of it.
And in the early 90s too, Vegas, was more family themed, but still there was
It was a family
when
theme. That's
the
right.
people were allowed to stand out there and it wasn't a problem and
Yeah.
and solicit. So it was.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of things. So I mean, the reality is this doesn't get any better. You're right. Like
Yeah.
so, I feel like we were just my mom just is more of a free parenting person.
Okay.
Go have fun.
Yeah.
My dad would tell me the same thing. He'd go out and play or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd be locked out of the house throughout the day, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember him driving home from work one time and he saw me and I didn't have my shoes on, right? No shoes, no socks. That was not cool from him. He just pull up. open the door, get in the car.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I was beat.
It's like, bro.
It was over for me.
Yeah, my mom would be like, yeah, you can't even, if you come back in this house one more time, you ain't going back outside. And I'll be like, well,
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So, but no, coming to Vegas has been a great experience. When I came out here, I was not doing youth work. I was doing car dealership work,
Wow.
which is a big part of my background, accounting. And I was like a business manager.
Did you go to school for accounting or did you learn the trade?
I did not, bro. Long story short is I had my first kid.
Okay.
I was 21.
Uh-huh.
I was a studio junkie and I would bounce around from studio to studio. One of the studios, the engineer's brother was a finance director at a dealership. And he was like, my brother might be able to get you a job. You're having a kid and, we might be able to help you out. I was like, all right, cool. So I took that gig and I was basically the person that would take your loan documents, copy them, photocopy them, send them off to the banks for approval.
Okay.
That was all
That's your job.
That was my job. Scanning, make sure everything's signed right, send it off. And then after that, I got into the business office where I was billing the contracts and then so on and so forth. Learned all the desks in the office. Just years and years and years goes by. Become a business manager, a finance manager. No schooling. And
those are the best jobs inside of a car dealership, right? And you make the most money inside of a car dealership as the finance guy.
As a finance guy, you're banking, you're cashing out.
Right.
Yeah. And
because you're selling the upgraded warranties, right? You're like, hey, if you go with number 3 over here, you get $3,500. But man, you're 100,000-mile warranty.
And when you see the cost, you're gonna. We'll have another conversation where you just be very upset.
Right. That's why I don't ever buy it.
You're just gonna be very upset, bro. You're like,
it's like they try so hard, and I'm like, look, dude, I know I'm a sales guy too.
Right.
I get it, dude, but I ain't buying it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
it's
bro.
Tough. So I was when I got out here, then I just felt that emptiness. I was like, man, I am a musician. I've done teaching before in these spaces where I've done these programs for recording arts, and I need to be able to do this again. My wife encouraged me to jump back in. There was an opening for a local Boys and Girls Club for notes.
So you were teaching before. You were teaching, and working in that space before.
In California, I was doing
before the car
programs.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would jump back and forth because I felt incomplete. Like I would be like, I need the money, and I'd go corporate. And then I'd be like, I need to fulfill my dreams and my passions. And I would go back. And then I'd be like, this is not enough money. And then it's that constant battle of wanting to have purpose in life and then also pay the bills and take care of your family. So what do you do, right?
You moved to Vegas because it's less expensive, right?
It's less expensive. And I was like, I worked myself through this corporate ladder where I can get a decent gig, make the decent money, and not have to pay as much in rent and all the overhead. So I was winning, and then I jumped back into the teaching world for kids. Nice. Took another financial hit, but I knew that going in this time.
Right.
And I knew it was a sacrifice, and I still did it because my wife encouraged me to. And she said, we're going to be fine. I got a gig. You'll have a gig. You'll be happier every day. Yeah. And that is what made me want to do it. That affirmation. I was too afraid on my own. Like as a man, you want to be able to be like, I got this, babe. You're gonna take this, go get your nails done and go shopping and all this. I don't got no shopping money right now, bro. Like it's tight on me right now. You feel me? But it's all for the betterment of these kids. Yeah. I feel happier every day. Like she was right. I wake up every day. I don't go, it's Monday. I gotta go to work like most people do.
Right. I got to go sell some of this extra
warranties and I got to meet a quota.
That they don't want.
And, and it's just very fulfilling and nice. I feel like if I died today, I would know what I've done the last 2-3 years has changed a lot of people's lives. And I'll be okay with that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
And that's how I got the chance to meet you too is, with Life by Music, we've done work with the Boys and Girls Club before. And, we were taking time, otherwise was taking time off of touring. So I'm like, okay, I want to cook Life by Music back up with Boys and Girls Club. Like, well, you got to meet Rob Lacy. You got to come in, let's take a meeting. So now about a year ago, we sat down, took a meeting at the Reynolds Club in the Notes for Notes studio. Beautiful studio that
Yeah, shout out Notes for Notes.
yeah,
Great
Notes
work.
for Notes, and Phil is a really cool guy. And we had worked with them, did some work in Nashville, so it was all good. All positive people trying to make a difference. And we sat down, and that was just the small for that club. But then getting to know each other, you do so much more than just run the program at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, when they introduced you, I'm not gonna lie, it was like this guy wants to come in and do guitar classes and stuff like that. I was like, who is this guy? And then they were like, Brian Patrick, and I had to do my homework. When I became educated, then it kind of like allowed me to go, it's gonna be an honor to work with this guy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be an honor to work with him. I want to see what it is, how he engages with the youth, and I must say, man, like you have the patience. You have the expertise, the knowledge, and it takes a special person to work with the youth. You can't just be a musician and be like, I'm gonna teach kids, because most people are like, what?
It's so funny that you say that too, because when he first started talking about this, and that LBM kind of came to fruition in a different sense in my mind, right? And I'm always looking at things from a business.
You've seen it all develop, yeah.
But I'm like okay, product and marketing and t-shirts and all of this kind of stuff. And Ryan's like, well, no, I mean, I want to help the youth out, and I'm like, I don't know that I see that, bro. And then I see him start working like 2014 or 15, maybe. You guys did the big thing with the Boys and Girls Club.
16.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when.
And I'm like watching, and I'm like, dude, this dude knows how to teach kids how to, and he's like super patient, super nice. And it's just like, wow, I couldn't believe the transition. The personality transition from rock and roll dude to like, boom, let me help you guys out, and oh, that's so good, you guys are playing so great, and it's awesome.
It does make something out of you. I think I get more out of it than sometimes people or the kids know, because they're just like, oh, you're my teacher or whatever. But every day I'm learning how to be more compassionate. Every day I'm learning how to have the mental fortitude to keep going, and also like I feel like I'm blessed because I'm seeing their changes. I'm seeing their developments over time. The same kid I had last year is not the same kid this year. They've learned so much, and now
you gave it to them.
Yeah, well, I gave them the inspiration, the hope, the encouragement. I feel like, I feel I would take some credit, but I also feel like this is just empowerment. They already have the power. It's just you're activating it in them,
giving them the direction.
Yeah, and you're like allowing them to see it. Most people don't see their potential, so it takes someone to go, "You're dope."
Yeah,
and then it clicks.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
he did. He had mentioned that too. We were out teaching the Marines out in Cali.
Yeah, 29 Palms.
Yeah, 29 Palms. And he said the same thing. He's like, listen, anybody can play guitar, right? You can learn how to do this. You can learn how to
as
play
a technical
well
skill.
Too.
Yeah,
right. You can do it. And after an hour of did a couple of classes, but after 1 hour class, you see all these guys and gals just learned it, right? Just learned what he taught them, and they played it back to him by the end.
Crazy.
Right? Then the second set comes in, and I'm like, let's see if that was lucky.
Yeah.
Second set, by the end of the set, boom, they all knew how to do it. And I'm like, wow, these guys are, I've been playing guitar for many years, and I still don't know how to play,
Yeah.
But I think with the practice, you definitely can, practice anything for a certain amount of time, and you can really learn anything you put your mind to. You can,
bro.
I wanted to pull up a clip on your Instagram, but I didn't. I want to get back in the conversation. But that's what you do so well too. When I come in, I've worked with the kids, done our guitar magic with them, and those kids, you have found such a good way of really connecting with them and making them feel comfortable to express themselves.
Yeah. Safe space is the rule.
Yeah. But you also know that, hey, I'm not just like, you know how to crack the whip and like keep them. It's a great balance of like, hey, you're here to express yourself, but you also need to listen and learn And you kind of, it's just a great balance. And
I
from
know what
I've
you're
been able
saying.
to
It's
see,
like, I intentionally make a personal bond with each kid.
yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen LeBron James do handshakes?
No,
He has
I
a
haven't.
handshake
He has
for
for
like
everybody.
every person is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every
Okay.
person
On
has a
his team,
unique
yeah.
handshake, and he has to remember. So, like, I'll make sure I find something in each kid where I can connect and go,
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Here's my story, and now we're buddies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I
Yeah.
ask you to do something, you're not looking at me like an authoritarian figure, and you're like, I don't want to do that because he's so demanding. It's
Right.
like my homie's asking me to.
We're
do
friends.
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
we've talked about things. We've shared stories, and
They
so
want to do things.
they want
for
to do
you.
things to help, and they want to do things to listen and show that they're. I don't know how, bro.
I mean, what made you want to do this from the beginning, right? There's not a lot of people, in this world, unfortunately, that say, I want to do things that are super focused or hyper focused on helping others. What got you? What started you on that path? Was there did it just click? Did you always want to do it, or did you fall into it and then realize this is my calling?
I fell into it on my own selfish ambitions.
Okay.
So at 17, there was a Boys and Girls Club that had a mini, like a Digi 001, which is an interface, the very first interface for Pro Tools
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah.
And then they had like those ugly green Macs, like the ugly colored iMacs. I don't know if you remember those.
Those
They
are the
were all
originals.
the
There's a
OGs.
bond. Those are called Bondies. So the green ones are Bondi Blues, and it's like the first iMac
That's
that
what
they
I'm
started
saying,
making.
JB,
right?
JB, no,
So-
he's a Mac collector.
Yeah.
So
I'll
they
take
had-
you in the back and show you all of the collection of Macs.
Yeah.
So they had the
So,
interface, the
yeah.
old school Macs. They had a Casio keyboard and
Uh-huh.
probably like $100 mic in a room that was about half this size room, cut in half, and we were just kind of like crammed in there. But no one ran it. No one ran the club bought the gear and no one was using it. It was just sitting there.
Yep.
And here we are, young aspiring musicians, rappers, and we're like, we want to get in the studio. This is the closest thing we got. Let's tell them we want to use it. So we use it every day. And then after a while, other people wanted to use it, peers. So I was recording my peers, younger kids at 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so, that's how I started on a selfish ambition for myself, but then gradually started showing my peers how to do it.
Okay.
And then after that,
And so you got something from that. then.
I learned a ton. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never had worked on DAWs before or, things like that. I knew how to track, learning all the things about decibels and all of the recording world stuff. And but at any rate, I became a youth pastor shortly after that. I was graduated high school. I was a youth pastor in training.
Okay.
So I was under mentorship from a senior pastor, and I was leading a youth group in San Pedro, California, for junior high kids. And so that's where I believe I learned a lot of compassion for people.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then that just kind of allowed me to be of service. I learned a lot of my servitude from being in church.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's
So
awesome, man.
that's where I got it from.
Okay.
And then like going forward in life, the battle of, hey, I got to provide for my family, but I want to be fulfilled and do my music and do community service. It just sometimes it doesn't go hand in hand. The people that are doing philanthropy and in the field aren't being compensated big wages.
Mhm.
It's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is one of the biggest struggles. It's like we want to do good. How do you do good and also be compensated for the work that it takes to do good?
Right, because it's definitely, bro. So when I don't clock out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I have my gig, but I go home, I take care of dinner, check my kids' homework, whatever. But then I'm working on my thing,
Yeah.
all night until sometimes 12, 2 a.m. And then I got to get up 6 a.m. take my kids, to school,
Yeah.
get them ready. So it never stops, but I'm starting to see it pay off.
Yeah.
And so
Awesome.
when people,
That's that entrepreneur mindset that we were talking about,
Yeah.
and that's what it is that you're just always going. You're always going because you want to continue on. You want to grow. You want to be something. You want to,
'Cause
whatever
you
that
ain't
something
done
is.
yet.
Ain't
'Cause
done.
You ain't done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you see the affirmations on your journey. So
Yeah,
like you're
sure.
on your journey and it's like, it's not working. But then it's like something like these little events happening
Mhm.
along the journey. And you're like, okay. This is affirmation for me to keep going
Yeah.
because there's something that I'm working towards on the other side. And the thing is, I have goals of what I want to achieve, but I don't know how soon I'll get there.
Yeah.
It's just like, but now I'm in the mentality that there's nothing that I can't do. There was moments where I was like timid.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be timid to ask for things or the whole humility, humble. No, that's okay. Yeah, that's cool. But now it's like I'm a whole monster out here, bro. I will go up to anybody and
Nonstop.
talk business. And I don't care who you are, with stature, how much money you got, millionaire, billionaire, thousandaire. I don't really care.
Right.
Can you help the children? That's
Yeah.
all I care about, you know?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
And your
That's awesome.
outreach and your visions are going, you know, past borders.
Yeah.
You know, you tell us about the songwriting course that you're doing online.
So I do a lot of virtual classes because I don't have a building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a big problem
Yeah.
for me in terms of having a hub. But
So
it's not,
where do you teach those classes at? Is it out of your house? Is it out of a studio?
my
Is it-
classes are all virtual.
they're all virtual.
Yeah.
So you're sitting
In my living
virtually
room,
in your living room.
Just
Okay.
chilling on slideshow, StreamYard, tap in.
Do we have examples of anything that we
Let's
could pull
see.
up?
Actually,
I
there
feel
is
like
on
you
my
have
YouTube,
something
on my
on your-
Instagram. It does
Yeah.
have
Let's see here.
a post up there.
Alex, pull
It's
up.
kind of green.
Can you
It's-
pull up his Instagram? Because I think if you scroll through some stuff, we could probably
Yeah, scroll
find
down.
one to click on there that
It'll be green and white. Keep going down.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Yeah, that one in the middle. Yep.
there
So
we
that's
go.
kind of what the layout looks like. You
Okay.
know?
Can
But
you click that? Will we get sound on that if you
We should.
click that bad boy, Alex? That's okay, even if we aren't getting sound.
but it's
Tell
okay.
us. Yeah.
I'll just tell you about the story. So
Yeah.
since I don't have a classroom, all of my class experiences are virtual. When students are needing to then track the songs that they're working on, I'll book studio time, take them to a professional studio with their parents, you know what I'm saying? And share some knowledge about, there it is.
There you go.
So I wake
Which
up at
is writing
5 a.m.,
songs.
bro. 5 a.m. is there 3 p.m. in Uganda.
Okay.
I have
How did
partners-
you get
So they're
Yes.
working out of these kids
Uganda.
are working out of Uganda,
Yep.
and you're here in Vegas teaching them.
Yes, so it's a
There's-
city called Kampala.
Okay.
And it's about,
Dude, this is awesome.
it's a,
We'll have you pull that back up in a minute, Alex.
so it's like their village is about 15 hours from the main city. If you were to fly in, you'd have to drive 15 hours to get to their village. So maybe next year I might
Wow.
go, but
Okay.
that's a crazy drive just to get to fly 24 hours and then,
Yeah.
so it's
Days.
quite a mission, bro.
Yeah,
But,
I know. Brian, former drummer of Otherwise, did some philanthropy work out in Africa,
really?
and yeah, he had to. He went and filmed a bunch of it out of Utah. There was a group of people. I can't remember what it was for exactly, but it was helping folks and students out there. I think on the education side of things, but yeah, he was saying the same thing. Well, he first landed with all his camera gear and everything, and he had to buy his camera gear back. They took all his camera gear.
Oh my
And then he gave him
God.
$350, I think. If the
Dude.
story's wrong, B, let me know. And then gave him some money and got his camera gear back so that he can film what was going on. But then ended up, being able to, record everything that was
Damn.
going on and everything that they did out there. So, but he had a blast out there. That was the hardest part of the story, I guess. The rest of it was all great.
How did
All
you
great
get set
news,
up
but-
though, like virtually?
So just establishing the account or
Yeah.
So StreamYard you can use it for free
Mhm.
right now, but I bought a subscription because it comes with more features. I can have up to 10 seats in my class.
Very
So
cool.
I can
That is
have,
cool.
I can theoretically have 10 students at a time.
Beautiful.
You know,
Okay.
and it allows me, because I was like thinking around. I'm always like, if I don't have a particular resource, I'm always thinking around some stuff. So
So did they find you then?
my
instead of you
homeboy
finding them?
Ishmael Street plugged me with a guy named Minister Ross. Minister Ross is the contact out there.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, I want you to meet Rob. He does youth work. They have a youth camp. So in this particular camp, it's all young girls. It's called Set Me Free.
Okay.
And so they plugged me with them. Shout out Johanna. She's the main representative that I work with for her group of kids. And so every Wednesday and Sunday, we tap in at my 5 a.m. is their 3 p.m.
Okay.
And I just roll out of bed and wipe the crust out of my eyes and
I don't know how.
pull
but
up my
okay.
slideshows because the curriculum's already prepped and ready.
Yeah.
I've already built the curriculums and the slideshows and stuff.
I just meant rolling out of bed at 5.
Oh yeah. It's because I know that this is greater than this is something that's so great that I've never done before.
Sure.
You know? And it's
Sure.
the excitement to be like, I've helped someone across the world.
Yeah.
Alex, can you pull
That's
that back
amazing,
up
man.
and play it for us?
I love that. And in the course,
And I'm
yes.
usually known as like a rapper. That's like my first love. Hi everyone from across the world. It is dark here. It is 5 a.m. and I think it's 3 p.m. where you are. Yes. Very, very happy. Happy to be able to share with you all and make sure that I can share some knowledge about what I've been doing with my life, which is writing songs. And I'm usually known as like a rapper. That's like my first love. Hi everyone from across the world.
That's great.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I speak slow because that's not their first language.
Yeah.
Right.
They speak well. Like they speak really well.
I bet you they speak better English than I can their language.
More proper English, right?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, it's kind of like they're deciphering because we have slang here. There's dialects.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I slow it down and I just speak very simple and concise. Like
Smart.
they're
While
not.
we're on
They
the
speak
subject
50
of
languages, bro.
50 languages?
50.
Wow.
Yeah, they're extremely intelligent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
incredible, man.
I don't even know my own language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. Me neither.
I barely know 50 words.
I use the same 20 every day and I get by.
A podcast called Ain't Done Yet.
Yeah. Well,
That's what's up.
kind of while we're on the subject, though, Alex, can you pull up some of the rap music? I just want
Def
to
Mass?
talk to us about Def Mass. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. Def Mass, man. Quite the journey. So Southern California,
Yeah.
LA scene is very brutal for any musician. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks they're gonna go there and blow up and be
Sure.
famous and stuff. So I've seen a lot of people come and go.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that I've come up with blow up
Mhm.
and just, now they're sensations and worldwide, world-renowned artists. So I'm really, really fortunate to have been a part of a particular era of music. Some of my friends I'm still close with. I can text them right now. And
Mhm.
people are like, so-and-so? I'm like, yeah, but they ain't telling me to come to the Grammy party or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But I know him.
but that's my homie. I could text them.
Yeah.
It's just that over time, the whole I'm your homie from 15 years ago doesn't fly.
Right.
Like life moves on and people develop new, partnerships and
course.
practices and, so there's no beefs. It's just life goes on. I'm sure you have
Right.
your stories too, right?
Of course. Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. Alex, do you have any of the music? Oh, yeah. Voltron. Yeah. So talk to us about
Voltron's a
this.
new single that we got out. It's featuring an artist named Mickey Fax.
Okay.
Mickey Fax was just on Rolling Stone for his writing school called Pendulum Inc. So he's an extremely dope rapper. I'd say one of the most complex rappers. Sometimes people rap to rap. He raps about knowledge and all these different poetic techniques that sometimes go over people's heads. And that's where I'm about lyricism and the poetic devices that are inside of lyricism.
There's a genre of rap that's specific to that, right?
Correct. It's usually declared underground or,
Mhm.
Conscious.
hip hop, conscious rap
Conscious rap
or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a dying art.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys like Kendrick Lamar and
Yeah.
J. Cole and
What about Juice WRLD? Wasn't Juice WRLD like conscious rapper too?
Juice WRLD was a no.
Okay, no. Okay.
He
I'm
was. I
wrong
think
then.
Juice WRLD was more like pills and lean.
I think 13-year-olds thought he was.
That's what my daughters were like.
Yeah.
Well, he's a conscious rapper, Dad, and I listened to some Juice WRLD. I thought he was really good. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
it's not-
I was necessarily paying attention to all the content, right?
Right.
I
What-
thought that he was good.
Oh no, the styles is dope, and the skill, the presentation, the production is great.
Yeah. Play us some Voltron there, Alex.
Oh,
Start listening with a free Spotify account.
Oh, you're not logged in, Alex. Log me in.
No, so Voltron, I actually got lucky because this guy was on Double XL freshman cover. So Double XL was in the early 2000s, was a very popular hip hop magazine that would premiere the best of the best. And
each year it was the freshman.
Yeah, it was like the freshman cover.
Yeah.
And so Mickey Fax was on freshman cover. Oh
wow, what year?
2009.
That's awesome. There's some really, a lot of the guys. It's one of those like rites of passage. If you're hot,
Kendrick and J. Cole was on the freshman covers. So at any rate, this song Voltron is produced by the homie D-Ski, the Illegal, and it's a monstrous track, heavy, headbanger.
Oh, nice.
It actually would probably sound dope with some distorted guitar on it. I'm not gonna lie.
I might have to get
I know
Ryan there to tickle the strings a little bit.
I know somebody.
But a heavy bar. We call them barbarian raps because when lyricists are saying things like phrases with double, triple meanings and stuff, we call it a bar.
Okay.
So how heavy is the bar? You can have light bars where you're picking up these little 15 dumbbells, or you pick up 145 and curl it. So
nice.
Real lyricists like to say that they have heavy bars, or so that's why we call it barbarian raps.
So it's deeper. It has 3 different meanings, not just one meaning.
You
the more
gotta
meanings
really
you can
listen
have,
and to decipher it.
Okay.
Would you have like a line or two that would be considered like double, triple entendre? Like do you have some? Do you have some like something that's really like it sticks out to you? Maybe it's not even your own.
My own?
Like maybe someone you work with, but it's just like, I'm not saying spit. That's
hold on,
just like a straight up line,
What is it?
Come on.
Yo.
Put you on the spot. My bad. This is like Sway in the morning. Alex, drop the beat.
I switch styles like a channel with control that is remote. Engage with the page, and with words I elope. Walking down the aisles with styles, I freak the vowels that I rock and tie knots like a Z28. At any rate, rappers get interest because I loan them microphones they couldn't house, so they had to rent their own. And that's Common. But those are like, when I started listening to Common, that's when I realized, I was like, oh my God.
There's levels.
There's layers, like levels. And like you could play with the words and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to shoot you because retaliation songs, or let's party in the club, or,
you're spitting knowledge, and you're battling on the knowledge, right? The knowledge of being able to put those words together.
Yeah, how creatively can we phrase these words and paint a picture, or tell a story, or humiliate someone, or whatever the use is, but to do it in a methodical way where it requires some skill and some study. And that's where I feel like certain artists like to differentiate themselves and go, I'm not just a rapper. Like, I'm an MC. I'm a master of ceremonies. This is a proclamation instead of just, I wanted to rap one day.
Yeah. Do you see the light bulb going off in the kids in Uganda? Over the screen sometimes, when you're like, hey, you could use this word, this line, it can mean 2 things,
Yes.
And they're like, wait, what?
They actually give me riddles every single lesson. After every lesson, they give me riddles. So they understand.
That's awesome.
They're like dad jokes, where they have those double puns, and stuff like that. So I was like, you guys are giving me these riddles, but you're not really understanding. I want to point out the fact that this is how you play with words, you know? And then I also told them, so like, since they speak 50 languages, oh my God, I can't even imagine, bro. So English, there's so many styles. Now you got another language. There's words that rhyme that I can't use in English.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So I'm like, use your language. So now you can use rhymes in your language that most people have never used or
Right.
rarely used because it's not used in your rap is not in your language as commonly as it is in English. So I'm expanding their minds and getting to see the possibilities of.
That's amazing. I'm that is such a cool, amazing outreach that you're doing specific with, and that's not the only thing you do too.
It's pushed me to want to
Yeah.
do an international nonprofit. So I think by next year I'm gonna launch one.
Yeah.
And then start exploring how to become more solidified there and branch out to some other countries. And yeah,
It's amazing, man.
That's awesome.
people-
I'm still dying to hear this song though. Is it Alex? You got this thing up, man? Do we get to listen to some of this music or what?
Let's see. Do you maybe we could did you guys happen to upload it to YouTube?
I think he's got it.
Gotta get together,
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
charm, and just show these niggas.
Pumping like Voltron and Paul. Pumping like you fucking with the pumping like Voltron and Paul. Pumping like you fucking with the pumping like Voltron and Paul. Pumping like hey yo. Pumping like Voltron and Paul. Pumping like you
Red rum, white lies, black crown royal, pure heat inside, set it upon the ground soil. Bass in, this is low in theory.
Who's this?
That's me.
What?
Yeah.
But I'm in
Nice.
with no code. Politicking with po folk and kings of the Gold Coast. I'm low pro, but po-pos, profilers. Sick of living life behind the minus.
Dude, this is sick.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
It's got like Living Legends vibe a little bit.
That's my villain voice. Like, this is the
I
Mr.
love
Rob. Hey guys, how you doing? And it's like I switch modes, you know what I'm saying?
It's a Jekyll and Hyde.
Exactly.
You see the passion like meteorites. See it with eyes focused, my life spoken. 80 hertz, low frequencies. I'm open.
pumping like Voltron
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the man. It's fun. I have fun with it
Yeah.
now. I'm at a place with like music where I feel totally liberated. I don't
That's a
need
great
it
place.
to like to live or like pay
Change
my
your life
bills
or anything.
I'm
It
not.
just happens.
Yeah,
right?
now
You
I'm just
put it together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when your best stuff is gonna come out, man.
Yeah. I know. That's why I've been seeing it, and I don't have that pressure. I'm trying to tell my homies that have been doing it as long as I am. I'm like, you got to reach that place of like creative liberty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you will unlock whatever it is that you thought you were chasing. to
What do you
get
think
to.
got you there?
I think working with the kids, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I found so much fulfillment in that. I didn't feel like I needed to be the best rapper or like,
Mm.
be a world renowned sensation in that music world.
Yeah.
Like now I can still teach music, still be in the music space. I've met more Grammy producers, engineers, artists and stuff in the last 2 years than my whole life
Yeah.
because I'm making things happen for children and people want to help.
Yeah.
So now I can call whoever I want in my
Yeah.
phone and be like, hey, I know you just mixed this Drake album, but can you touch my record up real quick?
right.
And
Awesome.
these are conversations I'm having now, and it doesn't feel real at times, and I just got to constantly remind myself, like, bro, you work for this.
Mhm.
You've stayed up long nights for this. You've gone hungry for this.
Yeah.
The chicken and beans and rice meals and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like when
Yeah.
it's tough.
Sleeping on the floor of the office kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what builds motivation.
Yeah.
So then when you
It
get
does.
those hard obstacles in life, it doesn't
Nothing else
scare
can
you
faze
no
you.
more. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, so what? I'll go hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Oh,
what? Go ahead, fire me. I'm just gonna find something.
I'm telling you. Listen, I lived in my buddy Derek's car for 3 weeks, right? And he would tell me it was parked out. His car was parked out. He was living at his uncle's house.
Yeah,
His car was parked out off of Donna Street. Donna Street is not a great place to be
rough.
around here.
Yeah.
And he would tell me before he closed the car door, like, good night, don't let the gangsters bite. Right?
That's
Nighty night.
crazy.
Don't let the gangsters bite. And
That's
Derek
a line
knows,
right there.
right?
That's a
And
bar right
you
there.
know, his in the morning he'd, you know, his uncle would leave for work. I'd be able to go in the house and get showered and everything,
Right.
and then go to work and do my thing. And it's like, dude, you can't phase me with anything, man. I slept in a car on Donna Street.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't bother me.
It's tough to live out your car, man. I've done
Yeah.
it. I was doing it for 7 months before I moved out here.
Yeah.
It was a very humbling experience, you know.
Yeah,
Even though
well,
it was-
and it only whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah. So then you
You
just,
know?
yeah, like you said. And then I think also you said, you know, because getting to that musical liberation space with working with the kids and stuff, I've seen more successes, and I've still been able to carry on my music in a way that I still publish it. I still get it out there. It's actually getting more traction now than it ever has before.
Yeah.
I think what I realize is that like as artists, we try to go, hey, my music, listen to my song. But people aren't really concerned about music. They're concerned about who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
People want to consume what the person is. I had to learn that the hard way. And it's a very hard concept for most to grasp. You know, people like Mr. Rob. People like the compassionate philanthropist. People like the fact that, you know, when I do certain things, I do it with a certain finesse, a certain touch, a certain way. And that's what people love. So when I say I have a song out, people just go play it anyway.
Yeah.
Because they like me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So true.
They don't even have to like the song.
They
They
don't
like
even
you.
have to like the song, bro.
Right.
You just have to sell yourself, and not in a, you know, in a weird way, but you're selling your personality, you're selling your smile, you're selling your charisma, how kind you are.
Well,
you
just
know?
listening
Yeah.
to that song, though,
Yeah.
I can feel the hard work in it. I can feel all the
That's what's up.
inspiration and the emotion that you put into that song. Same thing when I listen to their music too. It's what drew me to their music, is that you can feel the emotion in it. You can feel the time and work and effort that you put into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you seriously can. I will definitely be putting that stuff on my playlist. So,
That's what's up.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm calling it now, man. There's going to be an Otherwise and Deaf Mass track.
without
my
a
God,
doubt.
dude, I would die. Oh my
Without a
God.
doubt, man.
I would die and come right back. Just to be like, that was he, that was hot.
Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Oh,
man.
that's classic.
That's how I was like, man, wait, who's that on the top? Because I, you know, what's funny is we met each other through the youth outreach.
Mhm,
You know, Mr. Rob, boys, notes for notes, and you know, you looked up some stuff on Otherwise too, but then showing up week after week to do the Guitar Magic outreach, but then you posted something about some beats that you're like, I've had these on the side, and you posted like a sample of a beat, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, you do that?
He's
That's your beat?
nasty.
Like,
Yeah.
we need to do something.
Quick turn.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
most of my kids don't even know I do music. They just
No
know me
kidding,
as
yeah.
like Mr.
They
Rob.
just,
Mr.
yeah,
Rob.
Yeah, some of them do their research for sure,
Okay.
but most of them don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so when they find out, they're like, wow, this is
And
cool.
that too.
Yeah,
And that.
This is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
It is funny. Just a side tangent. Growing up, you know, I never knew that my teachers had anything else going on in their life.
Mhm.
right?
You know,
They just thought
I
they
just
were
thought
your
they were just,
teacher.
you're a teacher. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else going on in your life. You know, and
Yeah.
now stepping in the you know, teaching space more so in my music career, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff I got going on after I leave this classroom setting.
After you leave this podcast, you got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but nah, man, that's what it's all about. Is just keeping the focus. There's so much more work to be done out here in the city,
Oh,
You
so
know,
much, man.
and you know, we're gonna lead the way. I feel.
Yeah.
I just have a very good feeling about that, and I'm not taking no for an answer.
I
You
love
know,
that.
I'm just really out here with the fire, bro.
What's next?
I'm waiting on this 2025 budget. So
Okay.
I will know more within about a week. 2 weeks.
Okay.
But if I secure this, then my whole 2025 is set. And, you know, I think it's wise to get a grant writer because it stops you from having to keep searching scrapping and scraping
Yeah.
for the resources. You got somebody, just put them on the payroll, have them seek out the funds all the time, every day, all day, or maybe 5 days a week. So you're not driving them in the dirt. But it's like, bro, solidify these so many funds out here, whether it's federal funds or state funds, local funds, foundations, private foundations. These are the ways to go.
Is there somebody's name that you can drop for folks to that can help with that?
As far as grant writing and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest going to find, that's like, but it's funny because it's like, no, go find it. Go find that person,
Okay. So there's people out there to find.
There are consulting firms. Like there are people that have firms that
do you pay these people or do they take a commission? How does that work?
So for me, I'm trying to do both. Okay. I'm trying to have a paid person and I'm trying to have other persons that know how to do it, seek out on, like, hey, you secure the bag. This is what we were talking about. Here's how you can get paid off the back end because I don't have the money up front.
Yeah.
I just don't have it. So some people are willing to do that. But I do believe it's more of a better interest of a company to keep someone on the payroll and just pay them, well to keep money coming in for the nonprofit.
Sure.
That way you don't have to keep asking for money. I hate asking families, can you pay for this course? One of my songwriting class is $200 for an 8-week class, and people say I'm underselling myself. Like they're like, bro, that's cheap. I'm like, but
that's
how am I going to make it
a class?
That's
pretty cheap.
But I'm like, well, how do you make it affordable for families that need it and they can't afford it?
Right.
So then I do price tiering because you're rich and you're not. And that's not like, how do you draw this line?
How much you make a year? Yeah. All right, you're $350 an hour.
That's not fair, So we want to make it. I had to draw a line, and being that these are new models that I'm rolling out, I want it to be accessible.
Sure.
Next is prison programming. So local prisons for youth. And so I got it in. I'm waiting on some clearance. It's really crazy clearance process.
It's for like juvenile hall.
Juvenile halls, 13 to 18. Most of the kids are doing 6 to 8 months.
That's some good work right there, man.
Yeah.
That's some really good work right there because you can turn a lot of lives around doing that. Man.
Yeah.
All it takes is a positive influence
just
on people's lives.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, I was in a lot of trouble when I was a kid too, I got into a lot of trouble. And luckily I found, there were people in my life that were positive that kept me going in the right direction.
And you respected them.
We all could have. Yes, I respected
them. That's a big
them.
factor. There's a lot of people that are positively influential, but if you don't have that connectivity, it don't mean nothing.
100%.
You had to respect these persons, right?
Right. But anybody can change their life. Anybody can.
You're right.
All of us, the three of us sitting here, we could have gone both ways. We could have gone the bad route or the good route.
Right.
We chose to go the good route.
Yes.
And it's sometimes harder to go to good route than it is to go to bad route.
Always harder,
really
bro.
is.
Yes.
It's always harder, bro.
I was doing a lot of dumb shit as a kid, man. A lot of dumb shit, and I got pushed in the right direction and, it changed my life.
Yeah, definitely. So besides all the things you've mentioned so far, you also run Uprising.
Uprising, the youth showcase we throw at Container Park downtown.
It's awesome.
It's usually every other month because it's so media driven, and me and my son are the only editors. So everything that you've seen on my page that's shot in like high res and all this stuff, my son's shooting or I'm shooting or whatever, and we are crunching down. The homegirl niece helps crunch down some of the footage sometime too, so I'm not going to discredit that. So it's a lot. So we do pre-show interviews. Okay. So we want people to have an idea of who these kids are. You put a bunch of kids' names on a flyer. So what?
What do they tell
cares?
us? What Uprising is? What is
Uprising? Is basically it's a culmination of the students that I work with or students from the city that I haven't worked with that want an opportunity to perform in front of a big audience, big stage. The stage is huge, bro. You can literally put a
Container Park
15,
stage. That's a nice stage,
right?
Man. Yeah.
It's elevated. They have a nice sound system and all that. So the goal is to give these kids access to a concert that doesn't feel like a school recital or it doesn't feel like some rinky-dink, something simple for children.
Okay.
This is a real show. I even put adults on the bill because the adults want to give back. And also, guess what? 25, 26, 27-year-olds don't have it all figured out. And they need stage access. And you can't get into the casinos as easily as people think and play at the lounges and all that stuff. So
Right.
they need stages too. So this is Uprising expands beyond just the youth. It now expands to local vendors, because local businesses want a place to, if you're an art vendor or whatever you make, jewelry or wherever, you need a place to sell it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in vendors. I'm bringing in the kids to perform, the adult performers. I got a team of 10 that helps and volunteers every single show for the last 2 years. And they're like, without failure, ride or die. Like not pulling this show without the dream team. Shout out the dream team. So, that's just the reality. Last show we got recognized by the city. Councilman Victoria Seaman came and provided us the recognition papers for our efforts in the city for providing this show.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
It's become a staple, and I've seen other people like try to model it.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, how are you going to try to take ours? And then I was like, they don't have the secret ingredient though. You can get the venue, you can put kids on, and the secret ingredient is the dream team. It's the care that goes into the event.
Yeah.
Are you going to chop 15 preliminary show interviews? Are you going to chop 15 performance videos? Are you going to chop the podcast that happens simultaneously while the show is happening? Are you going to cut up and edit all the photos that are
People
taken?
don't realize the
Are you
amount
going
of
to-
work that goes into those
It's
kind of things, do they?
insane.
Yeah.
And then
It is.
this last show, I added
Yeah.
another element where I took my Sony A2 and a field recorder. I had one of my youth walk around with me, and I was just getting interviews from random people. And I was like, hey, so what do you think about Uprising? And she's, how do you feel about Uprising? And it's cute because, it's little
Love
Hannah and all that. And I think that's a good element because I could talk about it all day, but the
Yeah.
people are talking about it.
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
passionate about it for real.
That's a picture I took when we pulled up to
Bro, thank you for this
Yeah.
picture. This is super heat, bro. It's like that lawn would have been more packed if the sun wasn't cooking everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
No, totally.
And the dance team is actually in the middle of the field doing a routine right there. So
Okay.
they kind of cleared way.
When's
But-
the next
We'll be
event?
back
Do you have
in
a date?
November. I'm working
Okay.
on a date right now. It would have been awesome to plug that on the show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll be back. And
How do
Ryan's
they
actually,
find it in the meantime? How do they find when the date's
if you
gonna
would
be?
like to, subscribe, the best way is Instagram. It's manifest.academy. Manifest.academy.
Yeah.
And you can follow all of our stuff on there. Or you can follow me, Defmass, DFMASS. But Ryan's actually giving out scholarship for some of our students.
Yeah.
So he's came through. We had this jumbo check. Oh no, at the time I didn't have a jumbo check.
Yeah. We actually had a small check. We had a real
You're
check.
just like, here it is. It's right here. I
Well,
got the check.
Talking about entrepreneurship.
Brian knows I
Make
have a
mistakes.
big printing laboratory in the back here that we could print big checks if we need. So for future reference, Brian.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is like sometimes you got to make, that's part of the sauce too, is you just got to make it happen. Like before with Life by Music, I was like, the name's got to be everywhere. We got to do everything. And, branding. Got to put the prints on the trash cans for our toy drive. That's the most important thing. Do this, do that. And, when it came time for, when you were telling me about Uprising, and it's me, but it's Life by Music, and Life by Music was able to, from our fundraising, we're like, hey, here's, let's put some money towards one of the artists. And so really Life by Music sponsored, it was kind of like it is a showcase, but then there was this extra aspect of, hey,
Who's gonna win this money?
Yeah.
Okay. So it
To
was
say-
a
I got judges.
contest.
Yep,
It
I
was
had
a
judges.
contest with judges then, and all these kids went up, they perform.
Yep.
The judges judge, and then the winner gets
It's a check.
that's awesome.
you
man. I love it.
And the funny thing is,
So where
that-
can the kids sign up for this, or is it only your students?
No, anyone can sign up. So on my
Okay.
page, is the link in the bio. That's so trashy and sloppy, but go to the
Mhm.
link in the bio,
Nice.
and it's a registry form.
Okay.
So once the registry happens, we go through the registries every time we're going to book a show, see who's new,
Yeah.
gauge the music, filter through the music, see.
And they can find that at DEFMASS.
Exactly. Either the manifest page or the Def Mass page has the link there.
Right there.
Yep. Oh,
Perfect.
pull it up. So it's very simple.
Funny story is, it was an actual check, an actual check. We take the picture with the actual check. And then after we post it, I'm like, wait a minute, there's account numbers.
Under.
I'm like,
No.
I'm like, hey man, hey Rob, could you take that picture down, dude? We're all,
Yeah.
So I was like, I blurred it,
Yeah.
whatever.
But very talented artist, Denjay, correct?
I think that was Denjay.
Denjay won, and that's the
Okay.
wonderful thing about Rob and everything he's doing, like he is in there with the kids, with the youth, developing the relationships and giving them an avenue while also fulfilling, his vision. And it's awesome, man.
It just works out that way.
Yeah, I can't say enough, man. It's incredible work that you're doing, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
The families, when families, they thank you, Mr. Ryan Patrick. For,
Yeah.
That's like some of the most rewarding things that you can get. Because, or if a kid is like, you're the closest thing I have to a dad, or like stuff like that, or like that. Yeah,
dude,
Just
there ain't
eat
nothing.
you up,
like
bro.
that,
It's
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be your pops, but
Yeah.
I will serve in whatever capacities God allows me to while I'm here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
awesome.
on
It's
that,
out there.
man.
Like it's really hard out here in the city, and we have a flashy city. But we just did a back to school drive, and one of the kids that got crayons was like, "I've never had a fresh box of crayons before."
Mm.
Like, like this stuff is actually real and exists in our city. Like,
Yeah.
so even if you're making what maybe feel like to you a minimalistic effort, it goes a long way.
Sure.
There's people
That one box of crayons goes a long way.
yeah. And shout out Ron Keents for doing that too, because he put up like 5 G's and bought like 500 backpacks and with supplies and and all that stuff, and we're just giving them away.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the budget, but I was like, I know where you can give it out at.
And that's, it's earlier this year. And that's the thing. We call on each other now, there's this big need for help, and so it's like, what we were working with, someone reached out to me to help a Boy Scout troop, like, hey, my son wants to do something in music. He doesn't just want to give out, he wants to do something with music and give. I'm like, hey, well, I got this is what Life by Music does. I'm like, okay, well, we got it this time and this time. I'm like, hold on, we need to find the place to do it. I'm like, okay, let me call Rob. Hey, Rob, do you know some kids? You know a spot? He's like, yep. 1 second. Let me call some places. And then we just, put it together, got it done. And then we had kids helping kids.
That's fantastic.
And that's one thing I really respect about Ryan is that, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of like community leaders that are in philanthropy that prefer to be on their own island, And it's like, even though we all have the similar goal and the same purpose of calling, it
so much better to work collectively and together,
have
right?
to work collectively to achieve the results that you want.
Of course.
Because it's too big of a task. There's literally like over 300,000 children out here. How are you going to reach it with one org? That doesn't make any logical sense.
Right.
Yeah.
A bunch of individual orgs where you can just all come together
At least
and
every
help
now
a bunch
and then.
of people.
And now, yeah.
Right.
And, there is a certain understanding of a lot of those types of people like you and I, they're creative. And it's like, I want but it's my name, like we need our name on it, and it does there has to be a delicate balance of, hey,
well, sure, because you still have to market it so that you can help and build your your work. Right?
But you are
what
right
you're
about
doing,
that. Is that there is, but I've started to see that, and it's going to force a lot of the organizations, the people that we talk to and the funders and the they want the organizations to come together.
Mm.
So now something that like, okay, yeah, we'll support you, but how about we support you, and you?
Mm-hmm.
Bring it together, So I think it's going to start, and we're already thankfully a little further along where it's comfortable to work with other. Let's work together. we're kind of at the front of the line.
And I also like to think about this as like, it's like a psychology. It's called like, I don't even know if this is a real thing, but it's like the shiny new toy. So let's say we work together and we build something, right? And people are going to go, oh, how did they build that? That's crazy. Like, and then they find out these people collaborated. We should collaborate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, oh, I built that on my own and this is how great we are. It's like, look how great we are when we come together.
Well, I mean, looking at it from a band aspect, right?
Yeah.
And I've always told these guys that too, is that you have all these, smaller bands, right? And when I was managing bands, it's like, I want to get them all together because they all have fan bases, right? And when you put them all together and do shows together, you can build your fan bases because then they find out that, hey, that group otherwise, those guys are badass. Hey, that group 10 years, those guys are badass. They have different fan bases though. And so
I think in hip hop, they do that pretty well, like collaborating on mixtapes.
Collaborating, and shows. Rappers are incredibly selfish. So, incredibly selfish. Like it's a whole psyche, bro. Like, Like,
I mean, that's the same with bands. Bands were the same way too. I mean, there was a lot of bands that were like, hey, their songs topping the charts. Well, I don't necessarily want to bring those guys out because they're going to showcase over the top of me, right? But I remember way back in the day going to see Monster Magnet, right? And they had a hit song at the time. Can't remember what the hit song was. But there was this new band that was opening up for them. And that band was called Kid Rock, right? And we saw them inside the joint at the Hard Rock. And I left after 3 songs of Monster Magnet because, because Kid Rock was so good. He could play every instrument on that stage, and he did multiple songs where he played bass, where he played electric guitar, where he got on the drums and played. And
very entertaining.
He had this little guy called JC, and he had this other lady that was playing drums, and it was like, dude, these guys are incredible. They killed it. Monster Magnet gets on stage, 3 songs, and you're like, they're just not that good, dude. I'm out. Right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what happens. So
entertainment value.
But I always believe that I want to share in the success. If I'm a successful so-and-so, I want to share in that success with others because it's just like you said, if I can see them get success and gain success out of my success, dude, that makes me feel great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Limp Bizkit, brought Aaron Lewis on the stage and he's telling Aaron Lewis like, dude, you got to play that song. You got to play that song. Aaron Lewis is like, I don't want to play it in front of all these people. Well, I'll get on stage with you. We'll play it together.
There you go.
Right. And that's what blew Aaron Lewis up and Stained Up is playing those, acoustic songs on stage together, dude. That's collaborations that you want to be a part of. Those are things that you want to grow with each other.
And it's really powerful, man, to acknowledge other people's strengths and to respect them. It's like, I know my man's super ill at what he does. So if I got young aspiring guitar players, or if there's not, they're just starting or whatever place they are and they need a program, I can always call him and go, yo, I got these students or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he's actually helped in going, hey, does a kid need a guitar or something like that?
Yeah.
And then now the kid that I couldn't give a guitar to now has a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not so prideful. I'm like, I'm not calling Ryan so he can get credit for the kid that I work with.
Yeah.
This is the kind of petty mentality that's out here, bro. It's so sad.
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely come along. I think as artists, it kind of shines through. Like we're on their grind in our own artistic ways, and
I don't dwell on it a lot. I'm just bringing it up for conversation.
Totally.
I'm totally in a vibrational space where I'm like, I'm just want to help people, and that's why people want to work and help me because it's like they're like, this guy, all he does is
all he wants to do is help people. I want to help him because he's helping other people. Of course. Yeah. I
think it's infectious.
It inspires me.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's infectious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're like, and I'll say it again. It might sound cocky, but it's like we're at the forefront of how organizations and people with ideas should be doing it, like teaming up.
Yeah.
Like Voltron.
Like Voltron, man. Yeah. Putting those lions together, baby.
Every now and then, link up when there's a big something and
Yeah.
just go hard. Like, my vision for Uprising is so big. When I started, they were like, "Are you happy now? You did the 1 year. It was like 400 people." No, I'm not happy. My vision was like MGM Grand Garden Arena, you know, big names, celebrities.
So what you're trying to say is that you ain't done yet.
Right? Ain't done yet, bro.
Man.
Maybe there's an Uprising tour in other cities. It brings an Uprising in other cities. We can send kids from Vegas to, you know, Cincinnati or New York. Or but there's ways to build.
Always
and
ever
cultivate
expanding,
this.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get in like Fountain Blue or, you know what? The Sphere. Let's get a show in the Sphere.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
That's right.
It's funny. I had a lunch this morning with the lieutenant governor, and we were leaving, and he was like, "When are you going to get in the Sphere?" I'm like, "We're working on it."
That's what I'm talking about.
But you know, it's so
Nice.
funny because you talk about art, but that's with Life by Music, you know, and like the LBM Festival, we put on, you know, our Rock and Runs, which is coming up, and I'm going to talk to you about bringing some people in, and doing a showcase and working together on it. And
how much is the golf tournament to enter? Because my son plays, and I'm trying to have him show y'all up a little something.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
man, put together a little team.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Well, it's $100 a player.
Okay.
But you know, I know a guy or two that can make some
Don't
things
trip.
happen.
We got a hundo.
I think Ed is going to be rolling down from Iowa for it too.
Okay, cool.
So, but he was saying, I don't have a team. And I said, well, I think Ryan might need some members on his team.
We'll be
but he
pushing.
asked me, but is he any good?
The answer is no. The answer
So
is
Ed's
no.
a really good golf player. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you might make him better.
yeah. It's gonna be a good time, man.
I think he has those remote control golf balls. So like if he doesn't make it, just rolls
there
in.
it is. Hole in one. How'd that happen?
Every time.
He sliced the shit out that ball.
Pops out the pond and brings it.
Right.
That's wild.
That's a good
Love
idea.
it.
Yeah. So, Rob, what do you think? You know, is there anything else we haven't touched on? I know you got a lot going on, and you're bound. I mean, we just took kids on a field trip to Resorts World, you know, and you were bouncing from you brought the kids there so that we could take them to the theater, and then you were bouncing to iHeartRadio. You know, you got a lot. You're making moves all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Have we
really
touched-
exciting.
Yeah.
No, all the publicity, bro, has just been from the work that's been put in, and then people are catching, and they're like, "Hey,
catching wind. Yeah.
hey, man, you want to get on this thing? I got this opportunity," and I am just going with the flow. I don't even know how to explain this period of my life right now because none of it is normal for my life. Like the beginning parts all the way up to this point, nothing makes sense because of the amount of success, momentum, positivity, you know, all this stuff. I think it's just because I've changed up here. The mental is switched. And now it's like, I can't stop things from coming this way because I've already laid the foundation for so many other blessings to come. Like, it's like when you go for harvest, you're tilling the fields, you're just doing the labor and you're watering the plants every day. And then
Positivity always attracts more positivity.
Yep.
Right? Always.
And then now you got all these crops.
Yeah.
And now you're just looking at, all right, now I got to work to.
Well, you got the
Get the
crops. Now
crops.
you got to feed.
Yeah, now I got to
right?
get the crops and give it back and feed,
Yeah.
you know. But I just find it to be more important to be diligent with what we have, you know. Like I was saying, like the first 2 years didn't have any budget, all off of people power. Shout out Dream Team one more time.
Yeah.
And we were to create things people thought we had a budget. And they're like, you don't have any sponsors? I'm like, we have resource sponsors like Liquid Death provides water. You know, Pioneer DJ provided us with the turntables for our concert, but we don't have any monetary sponsors. Like, so when I finally did get some money, I was like, oh my God, thank you, God, you know?
Yeah.
And it was only like 10 G's, but still, it was more than I've ever seen
Come
like,
in. Yeah.
ever for my cause. So I automatically divvied that up for a whole year's thing. I don't know how you do that, but I did it. And we spaced it out for the whole year. And now we're on a re-up and it's like quadrupled, you know, it's crazy.
Fantastic.
So my thing is like, okay, you get money, just put it right back in. Just put it all back in. Don't get to a place where you're comfortable and go, now we got this money. I have my job now and I can, sit pretty. And it's like, nah, I don't think I could ever just sit pretty because my visions are so expansive. You know, it would be nice to have a building. You know how much a building costs just to buy the land and to build it from the ground up.
I think John knows.
So this is your crib right here, right?
Yeah.
So $1 million or $2 million is still ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I need 6.
Well, and I mean, I
need 7. You know what I mean? Like
you said it perfect too, because that's what it is. And in my businesses, I've always put it back into the business.
Yeah.
And that's how the business was able to grow is by putting it back in. If I take it all out, then there's nothing there for the business, right?
No continuance. There's
that's
nothing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. You need to put it back in. And we just constantly over, 20 some odd years have just reinvested.
And then some
into the
people
business.
cap out because they're just like, they're comfortable and then they just sit in this little plateau and then they find themselves not growing because it's like, we're used to bringing in this amount of money and doing these things and we're just comfortable.
Right.
But I'm not comfortable. I'm always trying to scale up or like trying to.
I like to sit
more
uncomfortable. And when you're sitting uncomfortable, it makes you motivated, right?
Yep.
But as soon as you get comfortable, if you're comfortable in things, you start to kind of go like, yeah, I don't want to be that way. I want it always like, let's be uncomfortable. Let's be uncomfortable. Let's keep expanding.
What's something that helped you get to that mentality other than being homeless at one point in your life?
I think just the want for success, the want to have, the want for something more, something bigger than what I can be, right? And it's like, I look back now and it's like, we're here at this business, we're supporting a lot of families here, and that's really important to me is that, the guys that are in the back that are, doing a lot of hard work and stuff, they're supporting their families with that hard work. And we're, it's like, I tell our people too, and our sales teams and stuff, it's like, we got to bring in these sales because we got to support the guys in the back.
Yep.
And then when those guys in the back build all this great stuff for our clients, and then we look great for our clients, and then our clients want to return and they want to purchase more things from us, right? And then we can support our families because of that.
Yep.
We're taking care of each other here, right?
It's an ecosystem.
100%. And that's what, I think that's what fuels the fire for me is that I keep building and expanding this ecosystem.
You're seeing how great it is and how fulfilling it feels. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And everybody, and now we have our Chicago office, right? So that's starting to create its own ecosystem now. We've been open for a year and, we're expanding that system now, right? So we're getting ready to move into larger facilities, 3 times the size of what the facility currently is there, right? And it's like, wow, look at this thing growing. And it's just all positive growth. That's
amazing.
That's what really the motivation is,
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I've achieved things in the last 2 years that I've never thought I would. I literally actually, after the show happened on Monday, I just pulled up my phone and saw all the hundreds of notifications go off because I'm sharing the content and the families and the parents and the kids
tagging
and their friends and their cousins and all that. I was so proud of you. Not me, but the kids.
Right.
But it was something that just came from a thought of mine, because 2 years ago,
look
it
at
didn't
what's happening
exist,
here.
bro.
Yeah.
I was trying to pitch it to people. We need to do this, and no one wanted to subscribe. But now it's got the traction, and now they're like, "Hey, we want to get in," and I'm like, "Nah, it's cool. I thought you didn't want to jump on." You feel me?
Yeah.
But that's not me being prideful. It's just me going, I can only use energy that's available to me.
Yeah.
I can't use energy that's not. Sure, let's go have a celebrity pop up, but if they're not available, they're not going to pop up. We could reach out to 1 million foundations, but the people that actually respond is the energy that we can use.
Yeah.
So go with what energy we can use, right? And it's not always the way you think it's going to pan out. I'm going to tell you straight up, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been on some roads where I thought some things were this makes perfect sense. And then it didn't. And then,
but you know what? That's what
pivot.
got you here though, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, we were talking about this, I think early on in the podcast is that, I think the most important thing for me too for growth was all the failures, right? It's like I realized that, okay, that's not the way to do it. Shit, that didn't work.
Mhm.
Damn, okay, I spent a ton of money and you know,
Yeah,
that
it
did
hurt.
not work out
Right,
the way
right.
I thought it was going to work out.
Yeah.
But you know what? I realized what not to do. I realized how not to do it. And, you know, it sidestepped me over here. Okay, let's try this direction because maybe this will work out, you know,
Mhm.
and maybe a little bit of guidance from this person or that person not to do it this way and to do it that way. And, you know, it all kind of molded together into this direction that worked out, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, these cameras and all of this stuff and these microphones and everything else really stemmed from an idea that he had in 2020 when the pandemic hit.
Thank
And
God.
it's like, you know, what am I going to do right now? Because my industry's shut down. And
Yeah.
Ryan's like, well, you got the stage in the back here, dude. That's like, why don't we like live stream? I'm like, never really live stream
Thought about
anything
that,
before,
yeah.
but let's start looking at some gear here. You know, we knew some people that can run lighting and run sound, and Evan came on to work for us at the time. And Evan's an incredible guy in his own right. And you know, started doing live stream rock shows because they were out of work too, because they're not touring. They're
Right.
supposed to be on these
Everything
big
was shut
tours in
down.
2020. But it's all shut down.
Yeah.
So it's like bands started flying in from all over the country, and we started doing live streams out of the back here.
That's dope.
And it's like, yeah, I love this too. I love audio video production work. You know, we had a lot of the LED video tiles. We were already doing all that kind of stuff. So it's like, let's mix it all together. Let's do
I'm
this.
definitely going to talk to you because I got some crazy concepts. I'm going to just pitch it right now. Y'all probably already seen it. I dress up like Mr. Rogers.
Oh,
Okay.
no kidding.
And
Okay.
I do this thing. It's called Mr. Rob's Neighborhood.
All right, I love it.
It's a total flip on Mr. Rogers, right?
Yeah.
With black Mr. Rogers with the afro and the cardigan,
Yeah,
jewelry, gaudy jewelry and stuff.
Okay,
Though.
yeah.
And I'm teaching music lessons, and y'all could bite it if you want. It's all good, but you ain't me. So, so what I'm gonna start doing, I just met these puppeteers.
Okay.
So then I watched, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I watched the Jim Henson documentary on Disney.
That was great.
You
man.
watched that?
Yeah, I watched it.
Bro,
I gotta
such
so
a
good.
powerful. So I mean, obviously, I was raised on that whole Muppet Show and Fraggle Rock and you know all the movies, but I did not remember that I watched his funeral live on television as a child until I seen it again,
Okay.
and then it hit me, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing that anyone could ever materialize. Because first of all, the puppets don't mean shit without his
Without him.
hard work and effort, right?
That's right.
A big bird so no one cares about a big bird, bro. You know, but he made those little things, and he wrote a final show. His funeral was his final show.
Wow.
And all the people that produced throughout all those years were required to put on the show.
Wow.
And they conducted it at this huge cathedral. And I was like, bro, that's the way to go. That's to be celebrated in all of your creations and all the people you've built your legacy with, and like just all of that stuff. It just meant so much to me. And I was like, when I go, I just want it to be one last show, you know? And I think that'll be beautiful.
Well, thankfully, you got many more shows coming.
No, it was it shut me down.
Yeah.
But then it also brought to light all the different inspirations that I have, because I'm inspired by the whole children's puppetry lessons and, you know, incorporating all these different things like modeling Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and the real wholesome method to like teaching principles of how to be a kid and how to navigate your feelings and, you know, music principles or
a lot of those things are missed today now too.
And
you
they
know?
try
and a
to
lot of
roll
kids
them
don't
in.
have access to that.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, if you ever need any magic,
That's what I'm saying.
some
Eventually-
guitar magic characters right here. We got
I'm
them.
reaching out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some watch, and I'm gonna come to you with a budget, and I'm gonna be like, "This is what we got to work with.
Hey,
Let's do this kid show."
You know, I'm always looking for those kind of avenues, man.
That's
so
what's up.
Definitely bring it. Definitely bring it, man.
Yeah, I'll be honored,
for sure.
bro.
Yeah.
So, if you could say one thing to your younger self,
I can't even say it, bro, but I'm gonna think of something like really like Mr. Robish to say.
Yeah. What would Mr. Rob say?
Mr. Rob would say,
to young Rob.
it ain't your fault. You know, sometimes as kids, we like to take the burden of whatever situations we're raised in. Because you don't get to pick your parents. You don't get to pick your household. You don't, as a child, I think a lot of people feel trapped in their situations. You know, to speak to a lot of children, and they're trapped because they're in these living conditions, not that they're like on the streets or nothing, but some households are not pleasant. And there's a lot of family dynamics that aren't healthy, and it affects the children. And so as a child, I just would probably tell myself, none of this is your fault. You're still great, and focus on what you love, and don't give up.
I love
That's
that.
awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Well, Rob,
Yeah.
thank you, man. You got goosebumps are strong on this
Yeah,
one.
man.
And, you know, it's inspiring to sit and talk and learn more about you. And it's exciting to know that, you know, you are a pillar in the Vegas community and beyond. And, you know, you've got support from us. Me and John
Thank you so much.
Boyko, you know.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you-
I feel the
anything
love.
that we can do. Yeah, anything that we can do to help here, man. Let us
Word.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. Anything else you want to plug before we close it out?
Shout out Jim Henson's foundation and Mr. Rogers Foundation, because I'm coming to knock on your door.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Nice, man.
Yep.
Thank you for being here, brother.
That's love.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it,
Thank you,
man.
Love y'all.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.